Hello and welcome. We are here at Public Media Network. For tonight's show, we have two special guests from the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan. Please stick around. We will be right back. Hello, my name is Svetlana Stone, and you are watching Spotlight in a Zoo. Thank you for being here. We are pleased to have Kat Lenting of Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan Be Nice Program Coordinator and John Braganini, establisher and supporter of David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund, here tonight to talk about the Be Nice initiative. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for coming. I would like to ask you, how was your day?
Ooh, mine was really good. I did a lot of driving, and it wasn't as icy as a couple days ago.
Mine was uneventful.
That's great. I would like to start with you, Kat. Could you please tell us about the Mental Health Foundation and Be Nice program in particular, and how did you become involved?
Oh, so the Mental Health Foundation has been around for a long time, since 1990, and the Be Nice program for only 10 years. So 10 years ago, I was an AmeriCorps member looking for a placement in West Michigan, and I found the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan. So this started as a logo and now has become a program larger than we've ever imagined, but I'm super excited to be here to share more information about it.
That's wonderful. John, could you briefly tell us about your background and how you become involved with the Mental Health Foundation Be Nice program?
Sure. Well, I'm a businessman. I've been in this community in a variety of different activities for many years, and I became involved in the Be Nice program after I lost my brother. He died by suicide in the summer of 2016, and I wanted to do something to influence the community in some way to prevent the same thing from happening to other people, to other families. And I had the opportunity to partner with a good friend of mine in Holland, whose name is Jeff Elhart. He lost his brother by suicide earlier in that year, and he had recently become involved with the Be Nice program, and so we decided to bring it to Kalamazoo.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Kat, I would like to continue with you. The executive director of the Mental Health Foundation, Christy Bach, explains that NICE is an acronym for Notice, Invite, Challenge, and Empower. What is the mission and vision of the Be Nice program, and how it is different from any other program?
Ooh, a lot of great questions. So we know that we all need the ability and tools to save a life, and we can do that through mental health. And if you think of other programs that you can teach someone to save somebody's life in an emergency, what might that be, right? So is there another acronym that I can learn to save a life? Oh wow, it's CPR. So I could take a class that's 8 hours and learn how to save someone's life in an emergency if they needed CPR, right? Are you guaranteed to use that in your lifetime if you learn CPR? Not necessarily. But what we've done with Be Nice, which is unlike a lot of different programs, is created a tool that we can teach parents, we can teach young people, adults, anyone in the community to learn to save someone's life. So the acronym is Notice, Invite, Challenge, and Empower. So you can notice when there might be a change in someone's behavior. Before I do that even, I'm noticing what is good and what is right about my coworker, my friend, someone on the bus, so that I might be able to say, wow, this behavior that I'm seeing, or how they're thinking, acting, and feeling is a lot different for the past couple days, couple weeks. Then I'm going to, what was the next step, John? Invite, awesome. I'm going to invite myself to say, hey, I've noticed these things about you. Is there anything that I can do to help you? Have you talked to anyone about this lately? Is there something more going on? So I'm becoming now sort of a detective. And that really is a huge step that we in society want to take now, and especially in West Michigan. We're talking about mental health, We're having young people have conversations about mental health, yet we need that tool and structure to practice. All right, what do I say to that person when I am noticing the signs or symptoms? So the C, the next step, I've noticed, I've invited myself to reach out and say, here's what I've noticed, I'm concerned about you. The challenge is to challenge your overall knowledge of mental health. Do you have some stigma surrounding mental health? So we know that the number one reason why someone would not talk about how they're thinking, acting, and feeling is stigma. So it might be, I'm concerned about what people will think about me, if they think that I can show up to my job, if maybe I'm concerned what my family will think, right? What they'll say. So we're going to challenge those stigmas and really educate people about what mental health is, that it's an illness, that you could have mild, moderate, severe, that there's help available. So the other part of that step is going to that person with a resource. So instead of just saying, oh, here's this number, it's, I've heard of this really great counselor, or my daughter had this counselor, I want you to have this one too, check it out. That's the challenge. And then E is empower. Notice, invite, challenge, empower. With protective factors. So how often, especially this time of year, are we asked how we're taking care of our physical health? Or do we talk about our physical health? Somebody on the radio just asked me, new year, new you, what's your New Year's resolution? How many pounds are you gonna lose? Okay, well, I can also every day take care of my mental health. So empowering is about giving someone power to say, all right, I need 5 minutes. I just saw you taking deep breaths. Not that I'm giving away your secret on air, but that's one of your protective factors for your mental health. So it's empowering all of us to have conversations, to open up, and to make sure we're keeping track of how we think, act, and feel every day, every week, every month. So that's the action plan. And it's a tool that a kindergartner can learn. They're not going to get too deep into the stigma part, right? But they can start to think about mental health all the way up to a senior citizen saying, yeah, I can watch the people around me and notice, invite, challenge, and power. So that's what it is.
So you've talked about notice, the first step.
Yes.
So what kind of symptoms or signs
Oh.
you would pay attention of your colleague or your beloved children?
Yeah. So someone that I might know really well, I can notice a change in how they're thinking, acting, and feeling, right? But someone that I might only see once a week, can I do that noticing? Maybe it's my mailman, I see them, maybe it's my neighbor that I only see come out of the house once a week, but we can do those things. So what we say at the Mental Health Foundation is a change in someone's behavior that's mental health related, right? So if I were, had a death in my family, I would be expected to have some changes in my thoughts, actions, behavior. But our time frame too is 2 weeks or longer. So it could be not getting out of bed, not hanging out with people I typically hang out with, not putting my boat in the water this summer, not taking care of my dog. It could be a lot of different changes. But a lot of times we want to not look at signs or symptoms of depression as that's all it could be, right? You might see a commercial on TV and think, oh, low energy, or not wanting to do the things I typically like to do. There's way more than those. So what I want to challenge people to do is look up some signs or symptoms, because it's a long list, but we can notice if it's a change in someone's behavior. And if it's not something that's mental health related, you asking them will let that person know, wow, that person's concerned about me. Maybe there is a change in my behavior. What's going on with it? So there's a lot of different ones, signs or symptoms for a lot of different mental health changes. But we like to say 2 weeks or longer, and also it's affecting maybe every day how they're living, laughing, and loving. So their ability to go to work, their ability to carry out daily activities like get out of bed, take a shower. So it could be someone's appearance that's changing, and their ability to engage in satisfying relationships. So they're not responding to text messages, they're not picking up the phone, they're not playing with their kids as much as they like to. Those could be signs. So change in behavior 2 weeks or longer, and it affects how they live, laugh, and love.
Thank you. This was very useful information. And Joan, I'd like to continue with you. How does the Be Nice program raise awareness for mental health and impact the community?
Well, I wanted to go to the other end of the age spectrum, and that's why I decided to get involved in the school education program. And so we're working with children in from K to 12, and one of the changes that really is so obvious to me because of the generational gap is that kids today oftentimes don't engage socially, and they use social media to express themselves and to communicate with each other. And so communication skills, conflict management has moved from interpersonal format to behind the scenes. And I've experienced it in my own family. My daughter was bullied when she was in school. And if we bring those lessons to 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old children at the beginning of their development stage, we can teach them how to gain an awareness of how their behavior affects other children, and that becomes a cycle as they move through their timeline. And so my commitment has been to funding the Be Nice program in schools throughout Van Buren and Kalamazoo County.
That's wonderful. Kat, we have a few short videos about Mental Health Foundation and its work in the community. Before we take a break to watch them, how has the Be Nice program grown, and how many schools you are in?
Yeah, so we are in over 180 school buildings now today, but with the awesome support from our donor-advised funds that we have in 6 different counties in West Michigan, we're just really getting the word out there. And what we want people to know is that it's not only about the funding, it's also about the passion for mental health and being able to have that conversation. We work really well with a program that is already in a school, so that's another point to make. A lot of people are doing a lot of great things surrounding mental health education and training. We love Be Nice, and I think I answered it before, but your question about why is it different, and John stated this too, is that a kindergartner up through their parent. So if you have a young person in a school, you can be speaking the same language that young person is when we're talking about mental health. So staff members, students, when we're all using a common language, which is really uncommon when you think of school programs. You have the staff trained in this action plan, and then students are in this one. When we're all having that same common language, it opens up conversations. So when we think about how many schools we're in, it's really about how many communities too. So we want parents to be on board. We have recently had a lot of football games, we call them community nights, but where everyone from the community is coming to learn about mental health, because it really does take a village when we're talking about using this action plan. So about 180 schools, but a lot more people getting on board with that conversation. So we also are in businesses, churches, but the funding right now really is for schools, which is great because they might not, once they get on board and they learn what it is, oh yeah, we can invest in this long term. So that first push has really helped us out in West Michigan specifically. So we thank those families and the donor-advised funds, and so do those schools. So specifically in Kalamazoo and Van Buren counties, we have, I think, about 25 buildings.
Schools.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep, and there's more available. So if someone's watching this, go to benice.org and they can come check it out and see
And
more
you can
about
provide the program.
Yes, and see how they could get involved.
That's wonderful. Thank you for being here with us today. We are going to take a short break to watch a few shorts, Mental Health Foundation in action.
You might recognize someone in that video.
Yeah, you might recognize somebody. So thank you for watching us. Please stick around. We will be right back.
How you treat others can have a major impact on their mental health. That's why we need to be nice. Notice, invite, challenge, empower. St. Julian Winery encourages you to take the pledge at benice.org.
Welcome back to Spotlight in a Zoo. For those of you who just in, we are here at Public Media Network with Kat Lanting of Mental Health Foundation, a Michigan Be Nice Program Coordinator, and John Braganini, establisher and supporter of David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund. Thank you for being here with us today. And we would like to learn more about the Mental Health Foundation Be Nice program and David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund. So therefore, again, I would like to start with you, Kat. What types of event are on the horizon for Be Nice in 2019?
Ooh, so super exciting. Next Friday, it's January 25th, we are bringing middle school leadership groups together in Kent County to all work together talking about what they're doing in their prospective schools. So how Be Nice works at secondary, so middle and high school, is groups of leadership students get together and talk about how they want to bring the action plan to the rest of their student body. So they might want to focus on social media. Like John was saying, that is a big place where they might see changes in mental health, changes in how others are treated. So they could focus on that, or they might focus on how people treat each other in the lunchroom. Whatever it is, they gather this information and use the same action plan, notice, invite, challenge, empower, in all of these different avenues. So on the 25th, about 16 different middle school groups, which will be 200 students, will come together at the same time, same day, and we're calling it the symposium. And they'll learn more about how they can take the action plan into their building. So we just had the high school one in November, and that's a big one. And John always asks me, when are you having events? When are you having assemblies? And they come up really quickly, and sometimes I don't even know about them. And that's a really empowering thing too, when students, I learn after the fact that they've done this great event at their school where every student participated in. One was a wall where you would put up maybe one of your insecurities up on this wall. You'd write it on a piece of paper, put it on a sticky note up on a wall. Then you could walk by and say, wow, I'm not the only one who feels anxious around a lot of people, right? So that event could happen, I don't even know, but it's under the notice of the Be Nice action plan. So sometimes there's just events happening all over Kalamazoo and Van Buren County, and we might not even know it. So these things are inside schools. Big events like the table at the winery, that was super fun. So we're always having tables out in the community to tell more people about the action plan. Because what do you think of when you first just see this logo? Oh, Be Nice, right?
Be
It must
nice,
be
yeah.
bully prevention, or it's the way we treat each other, which that fits under it, but it's also a life-saving action plan. So we try to get the word out however we can. We have a great website where someone can go and check out 4 videos where they learn the steps of the action plan really easily and quickly. We are partnering with, this is super exciting, a Detroit Lion. His name is Eric Hipple. He was number 17 quarterback. He lost his son to suicide and actually survived a suicide attempt himself. So he has a great empowering story. He has his own story, his own layout, the way that he speaks, but we put it under the umbrella of the action plan. So that's a really cool thing too, when someone is already doing something related to mental health, and you put it in, all right, where does this fit on the action plan? And that would be, his story is empowering, every day taking care of our own mental health and resiliency through really, really tough times. That's all I can think of right now. So yeah, cool events all the time.
This is very nice. Does your organization have a strong volunteer base? If so, how would you get? How would one get involved?
Yeah, so most of what we do, we are a staff of 7. We rely heavily on volunteers, and amazingly, we have a great volunteer base of people who are passionate about mental health. So people can donate in a lot of different ways, right? It can be financially to a program, because 100% of our proceeds go towards programs for community, schools, businesses. But if someone could donate their time, that would be a great thing. So what you do is go to benice.org and it says sign up to volunteer, and you just put your name in. And then you'll be put on an email list, get an email maybe once a month about our different volunteer opportunities. And they do happen, like down in Van Buren and Kalamazoo often, where I might ask someone, hey, can you just stand by a table and tell somebody what Be Nice is? And it's as simple as striking up a conversation when you hand them a wristband. So that's how to get involved. But we love volunteers.
Do you have immediate need that you would like to address and tell
Ooh.
people, you know?
No.
That's just a
and
great chance
my
to
volunteer
ask about
coordinator,
volunteers.
I know, and my volunteer coordinator, Jess, is going to be really mad because I don't have it at the top of my head. But look at our website. BeNice.org is the best place to find a
So
spot.
you post the information.
Yep, it's all up there.
This is wonderful. Joan, how is it making you feel to see your brother's name associated with the David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund?
Well, Dave was an active member of the community. He was a very caring person, and when called upon, he was as generous with his time and his financial resources as anybody I know. So as each year goes by, the memories of Dave begin to pass, and he'll always be close to my heart. And so this is a way for me to keep him in front and keep him in my life as we move forward.
Awesome.
Has supporting the Be Nice program helped you in your journey of healing?
Yes, it's an active exercise in the morning. It's exciting to go out and speak to donor candidates to allow them to be involved in this, especially in the that 40 to 60-year-old age group. There's enormous stigma. That age group doesn't want to talk about suicide, and it's there. It happens on a regular basis. We see people taking their lives, really in all age groups, but in older men, that's a high risk area, and so and that's a group that they don't want to talk about their feelings. They don't want to share what they're thinking, where they're thinking about going in terms of their emotions. And so this is an opportunity at some point in time when we have firmly established ourselves in the schools. I'd like to explore opportunities with employers and with other organizations within the community.
So you're also doing public speaking?
Do I do public speaking? No, I mean I will if I'm asked to, but rarely. My role in this is really to keep the funding vibrant. Kat and Christy don't need anybody. Anybody, they know exactly how to represent the program.
But when you do have those conversations with people who are your peers, you never know how much that can help. So I'm sure that some of the conversations that John has already had with peers and you've had that feedback too, right? That, even that one-on-one. But I do want to share a story that happened at the St. Julian Winery. What's it called? The Wine Fest this summer.
The Wine Festival.
The Wine Festival. And we had a table with Be Nice. Actually, Marianne Braganini, John's brother, had a table about just kind of what we were doing in schools. And a young woman walked up to us and recognized my boss, Chrissy Buck, as the executive director. And she had gone to a school where we had done our programming. And I think she was 4 years out of high school. But she had been in the classroom and she just started crying right there on the spot, telling Christy what that program had meant to her at that time. And sometimes you never know. So it's really sometimes taking those steps, and we never want to look back and say, all right, for this loved one that I lost, for us as survivors of suicide, because there might be somebody watching right now who could have been a survivor of their own attempt, a survivor of a family member, a loved one who we lost to suicide, And we don't want to look back and say, all right, where was this action plan, when I was having conversations with my loved one. What we can do is look forward and say, how can we open up new conversations and create more pockets of people that can be a lay person and maybe notice and start that conversation. So the tough work with suicide prevention and mental health education is you may never know, but we do every day hear back. So that was a young woman who maybe 5 years ago had heard the message and it made such an impact, and we were right there. So that's the type of people we are impacting every day, and it's awesome.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Kat, I would like to ask you, what are some goals the Mental Health Foundation has for the NICE program?
Okay, so in 2019, we hope to be published as an evidence-based program. We've partnered with Grand Valley State University. That's really big for us. We're in our third stage of research, and one of the great responses that we've gotten back is that, and this is just for schools, saying this works as a standalone program or a program going along with what we've already been doing. So you never want to say to a school that's really working hard, here's this new thing that you have to do that you haven't been doing. It partners so well with what a lot of schools are already doing for behavioral health and mental health. So that's really big for us to become evidence-based, because if you're a school program, that's the first question you're going to get asked. Another thing, it might be trivial, but it's pretty cool. We're going to get an awesome new website that somebody can, we just got approved for that, so that's really exciting. And moving into different communities, but also we want to make sure that we're sustaining schools. So I never want a school to stop with the action plan. So that is a really big part of my job, is making sure that a school has that first presentation of it. They get excited about the program, but that if I'm in 6th grade, I'm still seeing it when I'm in 9th grade, and I'm getting even a deeper understanding of what that action plan means and how to help myself, my peers, people I live with. So that is a big one for us, to maintain our sustainability rates, and we're doing a really good job.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Joan, how can people support the Be Nice program and the David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund?
Well, like Kat said, there are a lot of ways to support a movement. There's financial support. We don't have a very difficult time raising money for the program. We have more of a challenge with the schools, recognizing that they need the program in the schools, and so oftentimes there's a tendency for the school administrators to feel as though they are addressing their own needs, and so we have to maybe push ourselves a little bit into the school to get the program rolling. So some of it is financial, but most of it would be supporting our efforts. The parents can support our efforts. They can ask their school administrators, let's get this program into the schools. Let's see if we can help these kids treat each other more favorably, so that we have fewer problems.
Being in a leadership role of your own organization, what would you say to other leaders watching us right now about the concepts of Be Nice?
Yeah, well, Be Nice is an extrapolation of emotional intelligence, our ability to understand our own feelings, to manage our own feelings, to understand the emotions of other people, and then, of course, relationship management. And so it has to start somewhere. And because of the technology-based world that we live in, it needs to be a focal point in the schools. We need to take young children. We need to make them understand how important the way they treat other children can affect themselves and others.
So, well, this was a great opportunity to learn about Mental Health Foundation Be Nice program and the David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund. Stick with us. We will be right back.
Be Nice isn't just a phrase. It's an action plan for mental health. Notice if someone is acting unusual. Invite yourself to start a conversation. Challenge the stigma. Empower yourself with knowledge. You never know who it might reach. It could have even helped someone like my brother in their time of need. That's why St. Julian Winery supports Be Nice. Take the pledge at benice.org.
John and Kat, thank you so much for being here with us today. I have really enjoyed this time learning about the Mental Health Foundation Be Nice program and the David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund and the impact that you're having in the community. Is there anything else you would like to share that we might have missed?
I'll go first. So again, just visit the website, benice.org, and also know that there's a lot of stigmas surrounding starting conversations about someone's mental health. So if you notice that there's a change in someone's behavior that lasts 2 weeks or longer, you're concerned that it's affecting every day how they live, laugh, and love, don't feel embarrassed to go and tell them what you've noticed, whether it be your coworker, someone in the grocery store, right, that might be struggling. Walk up to someone, because a lot of times that's what we hear is, I wish I could have said this thing. So say it. Say, I've noticed this thing. And then arm yourself with understanding the resources around you. So a great thing about the area of Kalamazoo and Van Buren and West Michigan in general is that we're arming ourselves with more mental health resources. So they're available, they're out there, they're affordable for everyone and accessible. So look it up. What do I have available to me? And also understand that it could be you, the one person, when you use this action plan, that's changing somebody's day, their week, their hour, or possibly their life. So look us up, support us in any way you can, and when you see the logo, say Be Nice.
That's wonderful. Anything else?
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
I agree. That's wonderful. So this concludes this month's edition of Spotlight in a Zoo. If you want to know more about the Mental Health Foundation Be Nice program and David Braganini Be Nice Memorial Fund, check out this information below. In addition, if you know someone or would like to participate in our show, please contact the Public Media Network. Thank you for watching us, and see you next time.